Hello to all YouTube fans out there. This is BGN1990, and in this video, I'm gonna rant about something. You know what I'm gonna rant about? This is for all you gamers out there. I'm going to rant about the Electronic Software Ratings Board, or as commonly known, the ESRB. You know the ratings, you know the descriptors, etc., but here's my rant. Well, I'm going to tell you about the ratings. Now, I have seen the ratings RP, which means rating pending, EC, early childhood, KA, kids to adults, E, everyone, T, E10 plus, everyone 10 plus, T, teen, and M for mature, and AO for adults only. Now, RP, or rating pending, is not an actual rating. They just put it on boxes of games coming soon that have not been given a final rating yet. So that's just on display boxes. EC, that one only lasted till 2018. That was usually meant for educational games for children at least 3 years old or over. I mean, baby games pretty much. I mean, that's all I gotta say. KA, kids to adults, that one was very short lived. It only lasted from 94 when the ESRB debuted to 98. And that one was eventually replaced with the next rating, E, everyone, which means you have to be 6 or older to play. Games in this one have usually, if any, mild cartoonish violence or very, very mild language. Perfect examples, a lot of sports games, pretty much anything Mario, Donkey Kong, etc. I mean, I think maybe once in a blue moon I've seen E-rated games with blood in them, but that's a very rare one. Now, E10 is the newest one, only added in 2005. E10 plus, or everyone 10 plus, means you have to be 10 or older to play. Now, this one was added because prior to this rating, there was no rating in between the everyone and teen rating, and I guess they wanted to have one for games that the content was too intense for an E rating, but not intense enough for a T rating. Perfect examples of E10 plus include the Lego games. And yeah, that's pretty much it. T is teen, which means you have to be 13 or older to play it. Now, these games have a good amount of violence, but very rarely have any like blood or gore or anything. It's basically PG-13. I mean, perfect examples of this include any of the Tomb Raiders before 2013 and Uncharted. I mean, even though it was 18, I got Crazy Taxi on my 11th birthday because I always played that game in the arcades, and pretty much the only reason that game was teen rate because of the swearing and the reckless driving. But anyway, the next one is M, meaning mature, which means you gotta be 17 and older to play it. Now, these games are intense. They are very violent and gory and vulgar. That's all I can say about them. I mean, there's a lot of good examples like Grand Theft Auto, Resident Evil, Silent Hill, stuff like that. I mentioned this in my 25th anniversary PS2 video. I got the game Dino Crisis that Christmas, and I noticed it was M rated. I found out you had to be 17 or older, so I always did my best growing up to be on my best behavior, follow all the rules, etc. So yeah, I told my grandparents they maybe traded in, ended up getting Tigger's Honey Hunt, more age appropriate, but guess what I got to do on my 17th birthday? I went to I think it was a GameStop. I purchased a copy of the PS2 game True Crime New York City. And I felt like an adult right there. But anyway, the final rating, you probably never seen this one in the wild, maybe heard of it, maybe you never even heard of it. Adults only, which basically you gotta be an adult, 18 or older. Now, stores, I think pretty much all stores out there have a policy they do not sell adults only games. So you, like me, you probably never seen one on store shelves. I mean, two big examples of games that were almost rated adult only were Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. There was that hot coffee mod. Yeah, because of that scene alone, they had to pull the game off the shelves and re-rate the game to adults only. And another one was Manhunt 2. That game was supposed to come out in July of '07, but because of the violence, they had to push the date back to October so they could tone down the violence enough to get an M rating. But I've heard people give mixed opinions about the ESRB, but you know what? I think they do a good job. I mean, there's some ratings I'm like, okay, perfect example. When I first saw the game Conker's Bad Fur Day, I was like 10 years old, and I was like, why would they give a game about a squirrel an M rating? Well, fast forward like 10 years later, I saw the gameplay footage on YouTube. I said, okay, that's why they gave it this rating. And yeah, I mean, you know, when I was a kid, I had a Game Boy Color, and I looked it up. There was never an M-rated Game Boy Color. There were a few on the Game Boy Advance. There were like 9 of them. And, you know, I mean, I think no, wait, I am right. The first M-rated game to be published by Nintendo was the Nintendo GameCube game Eternal Darkness: Sanity's Requiem. I have sadly never played that game, but I heard that game's amazing. I actually saw the commercial on it on YouTube. The guy who narrates it, he has a good voice for narration, by the way. He pronounces the game's rating as rated M for mature. It's mature, but he pronounces it mature. But I want everyone's honest opinion. When you were growing up, were your parents strict about the game ratings? I mean, did you try to stick with the ratings or not? You know, funny story. I got my Nintendo Switch a few months after it came out, and I was excited about the video game LA Noire for that platform. Well, I saw a copy at GameStop, and an employee, they knew me by name. He said, BJN 1990, will your parents be okay with you purchasing a game like that? I'm like, sir, I'm 27. I was 27 years old at the time. I'm 27 years old. But looking back, I can see why he asked that. That game's intense. It's an awesome game, but it's intense. To the people at Rockstar, you guys need to make a sequel to LA Noire already. Come on. That was an awesome game. But anyway, moving on. That was my rant about the ESRB. Let me know if I forgot to mention anything, and let me know how you like this video. Thank you, and have a good day. Goodbye.